Hey everyone, Angelo Mantzios, BehindTheVault.net. I've always said take CPP at 60 because it's better to spend the government's money, not yours. You know what? There are 3 exceptions to this. Let's go behind the vault. Okay, so when is it smart not to take CPP at 60? Number 1, you're still working. Well, you're not going to trigger your Canada pension plan if you're still working. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So obviously, the rule of take CPP at 60 really means take CPP when you retire. If you retire at 60, you take it at 60. If you retire at 64, you take it at 64. If you retire at 67, take it at 67. Now, if you're still working at 70 though, you take it at 70. And the reason is it's not going to get any better. The bonus program post 65 is not going to get any higher if you wait till 72 or 75. 70 is the max. That's when you want to take it. Now, some people will say, oh, well, what I do is I take it at 60 and then I throw it in my RSPs and, I can outperform, what Canada Pension does. Yeah, but the problem with that, and I've run the numbers, is that for you to succeed doing that, if you're taking maximum CPP and you take it at 60 instead of at 65, that's a $5,200 a year difference, okay? You need a 17% rate of return over the 5 years that you do that to make up the difference from what the bump is going to be at 65. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Unless you can get 17% net out there, might as well just wait till 65 or whenever you retire to get it. Number 2 is that you're incorporated and you are a business owner. You have your own corporation. And when you have your own corporation, you have the benefit of self-funding CPP. See, as a business owner, if you pay yourself dividends, you're not showing any real taxable employment income. So that way you're not going to have to pay into CPP. Now, what I tell people who have a corporation is self-fund your CPP. So still pay it, but pay it to yourself. And here's the benefit of that. The benefit of that is this. You get to control the money and you get to control who gets it if you die. See, with regular Canada Pension, if you pass away, the money just goes back in the pool and then somebody else is going to get it. Whereas if you're incorporated and you self-fund CPP, the money stays in your corporation and through your will, you can will the shares to certain people. So typically what happens is, your spouse will have access to that money, your kids will have access to that money, or a church or charity that you're passionate about will have access to that money because you'll give it to them through your will. So a beautiful benefit of being incorporated is you've got the control on how it's invested, who gets it, and you have the control of when you take it out. See, with Canada Pension, you have to choose a day and then they do the calculation based on that day. And you either get the bonus or you get the deduction if you take it later or earlier. When you're incorporated, you take what you want, when you want, you take it out as a dividend, you pay your tax, and off you go. Number 3, and here's the big one. I learned this early in my career, and I stumbled across somebody who was already getting the maximum survivor CPP. So I met a lady after a seminar, and she had said to me, I'm getting close to having to make a decision about Canada Pension. What do I do? And I said, well, let's look at the numbers. So what happened was this. Her husband was significantly older. He passed away. So she was entitled to his survivor CPP. Now, the way it works in Canada is that you cannot receive more than one person's maximum CPP. So, and I've said this before, like when my mom passed away, my father got nothing from her survivor Canada Pension because he was already receiving the maximum amount for himself. So what happened here in this scenario is she was receiving 60% of his CPP, which at the time was the max. So when age 60 rolled around and we looked at the numbers, I said to her, you know what? If you take your CPP at 60, you're only going to get a small bump from 60% of CPP to 64%. But if you wait till 65, you'll get the full bump back to 100. So what ended up happening was because CPP survivor pension falls off at 65 automatically, and then your own CPP kicks in. Well, she was going to get the max anyways. So it made no sense for her to take a reduction the whole way. it made more sense for her to keep the survivor pension, which was about the same as the reduction, to 65, let it fall off, and then take now the full CPP because it's hers. There you have it. So, like I've always said, the majority of the time, you're going to take CPP when you retire, whether it's at 60, 64, 67, 70, whatever. It's better to spend the government's money before you spend yours, because when you die, CPP most likely dies with you. And then your money is preserved that you can give to loved ones, spouse, kids, church, charity, whatever you decide. When you wait on CPP because you think you're going to get more, well, now you got to dip into your own pocket to make up the difference. That doesn't make sense, except for 3 times that we talked about in this video. So comment below and tell me which of the 3 you thought was the most interesting. Hit the like button on the way down. Don't forget to subscribe right here, and oh yeah, here's our next video. And with that, you've been Behind the Vault.